overcoming obstacles step. Okay. So you do your whole call. They're like, what you described is exactly what you want to be like. Oh, this sounds awesome. I read your whole website. When someone says, I read your whole website, there isn't anything better that they could say. It's like they're already sold, basically. They just need this last key piece of information to decide. And then you say your fees. And essentially when they're saying, oh, I was hoping for someone with insurance, what they're saying is, oh, I'm surprised. I just didn't know that's what it would cost. Okay. So what you do want to do in that situation is not just be like, okay, see you, bye. It's educating them, overcoming the obstacles that they have, not trying to shove it down their throat like, come see me, but helping to educate them why you are still the best option, even though your fees are high. And you can even add this to the sales script, like you can document it out in advance, like just brainstorm, like when you have an obstacle, like when someone says, oh, I was really hoping you would accept insurance, write that down as like the obstacle. I was really hoping you'd accept insurance. And then you kind of write like a potential reply. And for that, it could be like, you know what, and I totally understand. You want to do something that's, what's the term for it? You want to preempt their objection. Like, so you want to say in advance what they're thinking, so they say, oh, like I was hoping you'd accept insurance. And you say, you know what, I totally can understand. I imagine you're thinking, I thought this would be covered, and how much is it going to end up costing? And maybe you're wondering, how are you going to budget for it? And like, how long will treatment take? Let me answer those questions for you. So even if they don't ask the direct question, and kind of what you want to communicate is, you know what, I totally hear you. Like the idea of seeing if it just would be accepted under insurance, it seems like it would be cheaper. Let me explain though, in general, what the benefits of seeing someone out of network are. And I recommend doing it in a way that's general, where you're not trying to be like, see me in a really salesy way. You're just saying, in general, if you were to consider seeing someone out of network, here's kind of how it would be beneficial. So I'll kind of say, oh, like I totally hear what you're saying. And you know what, if you wanted to find someone insurance, like here's how you would do it. You'd go to the website and you do this, you'd call your insurance company. You know what though, to be honest, when I tell people that, I know ultimately it's a challenging process, because what tends to happen is people call around. The people who, no one who accepts insurance maybe is accepting new patients, or maybe they're not accepting patients for months. And, even then when you do see them, they're kind of having to work under the limitations of the insurance system, and they're only seeing you for 20-minute appointments and this and that. Let me just suggest, like, I would like you to be open to the possibility of an alternative, which is that if you're working with someone who is, who's fee for service, maybe it costs more, but you get better faster, because ultimately I imagine what you want is really to feel better. Like if I could wave a magic wand for you and you were to feel better, you probably would be willing to pay for that, right? Oh yeah, haha, yeah. I'm able to, because I can spend more time with patients and really listen to you and integrate holistic treatment modalities. This is a good time to drop that you do integrative psychiatry, even if it's not something they're asking for. Like, I just did this with a patient the other day, like, oh, you holistic, what's that mean? And I kind of give my little spiel. And you're kind of explaining why in general they might want to see someone who's out of network. So you're kind of like overcoming the objective, the obstacle, overcoming the obstacle. Does that kind of make sense of what the process is? So even they're explaining doubt, that's just an opening for you to really understand what the real concern is. And you can even ask them like, so let me ask you, is the concern that just no matter what, you would not have the money to pay this? Or is the concern more that you're not sure if it's worth spending the money on? Or is your concern that, like, and sometimes they'll say like, oh no, like I'm going through a divorce and I literally don't have the money. Or actually I could pay for it, but I just, didn't budget for it. You want to uncover more specifically what they mean. And then Sophia, did you have a question there or comment?
Yeah. So first of all, like you say it so eloquently, and like I'm looking forward to like re-listening to this segment of the interview and like recording what you say. Cause I mean, I don't know. I think most people who are in healthcare have a really challenging time addressing money. Like it's an awkward thing to address because it's transactional and it just like goes against sort of like whatever philosophy, airy fairy philosophy of like being a provider. So I would love if, I don't know, just like high level points that you found effective of like, even the point of like addressing the money straight on, like, is your concern like that you don't have the money, like asking that question? I would have thought that that's like too confrontational, but I think you're actually right that like saying the elephant in the room out loud like puts it on a level playing field and also like demonstrates the value that you are able to provide to them long term, which is like quality time and like interest in what their core problem is.
Exactly. I mean, patients will always just answer those questions very directly, and they're not put off, and it gives them a chance to say like what's really between the lines. Because when someone says like, oh, I don't know, I wanted someone in network, in that context, they're not lying. All they know is that they're surprised and they're not sure. And that's all they know. They're surprised and they're caught off guard and they just need to process it. But that's not like that doesn't mean like you get off the phone and say bye. Like, so